Hi everybody, I'm JT. Welcome to another video from me here at Campervan Journey, where we're enjoying another trip away in the beautiful French countryside. Okay, so what's the time? 10 to 9. I think that's a record for being packed up and ready to move on. We're packing up the tent, so we've managed to do it super quick, which is great. That's the only mark that we've left from of where we've been. And everything's all loaded up in the back of the van. So we've got about a 5-hour drive down to Dordogne, driving down to sort of the central western edge of France. We'll probably stop a couple of times on the way just to break the journey up, and all being well we'll be there mid-afternoon, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the sun's going to be shining.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
So this is more like it. We are halfway to Sarlat on our trip, with just under 3 hours to go, 200 odd kilometres, but the sun is out, the rain is gone, and it's almost 26 degrees. That's what we came to France for. Hopefully it will stay like this for the rest of our trip. So we've made good progress today, travelling down the N roads through central France. We've stopped about 90 minutes from Sarlat, and we're just going to have some lunch at one of these sort of open airs that you see every now and again on the French autoroutes. Now there's so much to like about the French autoroutes, and I've said before that they are really good in terms of the facilities they offer, the frequency, the fact that you can stay overnight in them, but every now and again you find one that takes you back to the Middle Ages, and when you go to the toilet you get the surprise of your life, which is enough for you to think, actually I can cross my legs and hold on a little bit longer. Always takes me back that bit of a shock that they still exist over here, but they do, and if you've ever used one you'll know exactly what I mean. So how was your French motorway air toilet experience, madam? Was that grim? Grim. And we'll leave it there.
I don't want to go into the detail.
I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way.
Okay, so we are safely arrived in Sarlat, all set up in our pitch right at the top of the campsite. This sort of a tiered campsite arrangements. So we are right at the top, which is a bit of a trek up, but nice view nonetheless, and plenty of shade from these oak trees above us. So we can settle in, have our first night's dinner. Pitches are a little bit small, quite cosy, but great way to meet the neighbours. Don't pinch them. So we saw this on when we were camping once upon a time with some Dutch people, just basically chucking everything in with some potatoes in a pan, frying it all up. So tried it and it was really, really good. And we've got some locally made insomma sausages, fried up vegetables, and I'm sure there'll be a glass of wine to go with it as well. What a nice way to settle in. Oh, and the weather's an awful lot better. It's 28 degrees, 8 o'clock in the evening, nice blue skies. This is the sort of weather we were hoping for. So good morning from a slightly damp Sarlat. We had some rain again overnight, but it's breakfast time, so it's time to go down and pick up the bread, and most importantly, the pan au chocolats. This part of France is very hilly, so you need to be prepared for a workout wherever you go. Even just going down to pick up the bread is a bit of a trek, up and down, but good exercise, works up an appetite. It's not too far. We've ordered the bread through the campsite rather than going out to one of the local bakeries, which I do like to do. But we decided this yesterday just to order it from here and pick it up. It's a bit easier on the first night. Never quite sure. Local bakeries are often closed for one day a week, and we've had it a few times where we've arrived at a campsite, gone to get the bread at the local bakery, and they've been closed. They have one day a week when they're closed. So ordering it from here means you don't have to worry about that. So one of the things I really enjoy doing whilst we're away in France is comparing pan au chocolats as we go from campsite to campsite in different parts of France to different parts of France. Because contrary to what you might believe, they do vary. Then there are pan au chocolats and there are pan au chocolats. And today's pan au chocolat is probably as good as you're going to get.
Really?
Really.
They're too big.
Look at that.
Where's the chocolate?
That's such a whopper of a pan au chocolat. It's got a different name in this part of France. It's called a chocolatine. But they are immense. Harry, would you like one?
Sure.
You're probably going to need a knife and fork for that one. It's so big. Thank you.
No, I'll just peel it.
They are probably 3 times the size of the ones that we had in.
What if we just...
Look at it on that plate.
What if we just use this pan au chocolat the whole time we're
Chocolatine.
Chocolatine. What if we just used it for the whole rest of the time here? Probably don't need any more.
Take a slice off each day. You probably could. You could slice it like a Swiss roll. Anyway, enough waffle. I'm going to enjoy mine.
Waffle.
It's not a waffle, it's a chocolatine.
Yummy.
Look at that.
It's pastry.
That's proper.
And what is it?
It's not a waffle.
It's a chocolatine.
Oh.
So we've taken a walk down to Sarlat town centre this morning. It's Saturday, which means it's market day. Last time we came here was bang in the middle of the COVID pandemic, so this zone was mask obligataire. You could only walk in one direction. It was quite a weird experience, but obviously we're long gone past that now. Back to enjoy it. This beautiful, beautiful old, I say medieval town with some fantastic, fantastic shops. Wonderful local veg, huge tomatoes, heads on the chickens, chicken au naturel. Yeah. So French markets are really quite a unique experience. They're great. They're completely different to markets in the UK. Huge range of produce, cheeses, and lots of things for you to taste and try as well. Problem is, you want to buy it all and take it all back. Here's one of our favourites, the saucisson stand. Only we had smell-o-vision. And in amongst all the hustle and bustle, take a little turn and you get these lovely little features, secret passageways that you only find in an ancient town. So we've been wandering up and down now for probably almost an hour, and just there are streets and streets and streets of stalls in this market. It's amazing, it's so big, and you can buy anything from a dog lead to some super glue to some homemade pottery to some carved butcher's blocks to paella to local cookies, and then that's on top of all your fruit and veg that you've got. It's amazing, but there are hundreds of people here, thousands probably. It's super busy, but really bustling place to come. And Claire is desperate to buy something, just she doesn't know what, and she doesn't know where. We'll see how that goes.
Very good leg holes.
Okay, so we've done our recce. We're going back in. Harry?
Yeah.
Full of enthusiasm. Let's go and see if we can acquire the things that we really need to buy. Some saucisson, some wine, and some local nuts.
Yeah, it's so essential.
Essentials. What have you bought? Rather spicy
Sweet corn. Spicy.
sweet corn crisps.
Yeah.
The last one.
You're deciding the last one.
You have twice a duck?
So our favourite we're going to have. I like duck, yeah.
Duck, yeah.
Canard, yeah.
Yeah, it's the best seller.
So our favourite thing, we're going to buy 3 saucissons, 1 canard, which is duck, 1 wild boar, and 1 mushroom. This gentleman's let us taste them all. They're very tasty.
Écoutez, messieurs, dames, les ce sont. Merci. Thank you very much.
Merci, monsieur.
Welcome.
Merci. Mission accomplished. Part 1.
Now we need something for tea.
Le 16,80, s'il vous plaît. Voilà.
American herring. More wine for the holiday. Okay, so we've got some wine from a local producer in Bergerac. Tasted it, it's tasted really good. So the next things to get from the market is something for tea, some local meat, and some local veg. Mission accomplished. Great morning down in the market. We've got all the local produce we were after, including a bit more. So we're just going to take a walk back to the campsite, which is about a mile from the centre of town, up a nice steep hill. So we'll certainly have worked up an appetite and enjoy lunch. So our locally bought steak is sizzling away, looking very, very tasty. Along with our locally bought market wine, which is very, very nice. €5 a bottle. Bargain. And our locally sourced fruit and veg. Locally sourced vegetables. Another lovely camping meal coming up. Oh, apart from the tomatoes, which are from Aldi in Salisbury. But they were very nice. So this morning we have taken a drive out around about 20 minutes from Sarlat to a very small hilltop village called, if I get my pronunciation right, Salignac. So there's a ancient chateau right on the edge of the rocks here, which has been restored over the last few years, or is going through restoration at the moment. And a very ancient little medieval town, but it's a really, really small little place. So we're going to spend the morning exploring, but I said just 20 minutes down the road from Sarlat, a little medieval beauty to have a look at. So this is one of the things I just love about visiting these places in France, is we've come to have a look around this chateau, which was bought in 2006 by a family who have the admirable task of trying to restore it back to the state it was in the 15th century. The owners met us on the gate and were taking payment for the tickets, gave us a little explanation as to their project, their belief that they'll never complete what they set out to do, but welcomed us into what's loosely described as their home, but a project over many, many years to try and save this ancient building. Certainly makes a stark contrast to some of the state-owned chateaux that we'll see later in our trip back up in the Loire Valley. It's clear to see here the magnitude of the work that's involved. Scaffolding and battens just trying to hold the roof together. A massive crane, no doubt used to lift some of these giant boulders back in place. But when it stands on the edge of this rocky outcrop with this tremendous view,
Bonjour.
anybody in there?
It's me.
Let's start here. You come along. And then...
Peekaboo, I see you. Woo. Does that give you a spook?
Really gave me a spook.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see this because it's quite gloomy up here without the light, but we're in the very top of the chateau and there's multiple holes in the roof. All of those little specks of light is a hole where rain can come in. And downstairs on one of the display areas was a quote from 2009 for repairing just part of the chateau roof. And it was €135,000 in 2009 to do just a bit of it. Clearly they didn't do this bit. What a view!
I'm the king of the castle and you're the rascal.
What a lovely, fascinating morning we've had today, going and looking around the old chateau. And I say every video when we come away, I think so much of our enjoyment and exploration of these places is all thanks to us having a camper van. It enables us just to base ourselves at somewhere where we're staying, and then from there go out and explore the local region and just spend the day at your leisure. So we're going to stop and have some lunch now, and then perhaps have a further look around the small town here of Salignac. So, lunch in rural France. Chateau behind me, up on the hill. Picnic nog rug out. Baguette, ham and cheese. And some beautiful, beautiful scenery to enjoy. So we've really enjoyed our few days here in Sarlat, but it's time to think about packing up to move on to our next destination. Fingers crossed the weather is going to stay kind to us. It's been lovely, dry and warm for the last few days. I think there's some rain forecast later on next week, but if we can pack up and pitch up in the dry, then that would be great. So this evening's plan is to get everything pre-packed so we can get an early start tomorrow, and then we're heading back up to the other end of the Loire Valley to stay at a campsite in a small town called Bracieux, where the chateau, the very famous Chateau Chambord is. A beautiful, beautiful part of France. One we visited before, but we liked it so much we're going to go back.